Hello everyone and welcome to the Adira Red site. My name is Moira, however the primary first aid attendant on site as well as the site safety rep will be Moji. If you have any safety questions or concerns, please direct those towards him. His phone number will be written in the first aid room on site as well as in the site office. Our site office is located across Como Lake in the church basement, so if you need to speak to a foreman or a superintendent, they will be in there most of the time. Just before we get started into the orientation, I always like to remind everyone of their rights and responsibilities as a worker on site. As a worker, you have 3 basic rights, the first and most important being the right to refuse unsafe work, the second, the right to participate in workplace health and safety activities, and the third, the right to know and be informed about actual or potential workplace hazards. And your responsibilities as a worker are to 1. Follow WorkSafe BC regulations and other health and safety rules, and 2. Wear PPE when required. The main thing on site is following our safety policies, so that in its most basic form is always wearing proper PPE. Hard hat, safety vest, and safety boots is our baseline minimum. Anything outside of that will just depend on the kind of work that you're doing. Any secondary PPE should be provided to you by your employer. We can provide smaller items such as earplugs or safety glasses on an emergency basis. However, again, that is something your employer should be giving to you. Masks are not mandatory on site as we are in an open air environment. However, please carry one with you in case WorkSafe or an inspector comes by. In the event of an emergency, we have our air horn boxes located all around site. There is one in front of the first aid room. There's also one on the north exterior by the mini load bin, and there is one at the bottom of each stairwell in the parkade. If you need to summon a first aid attendant, it's just 3 short blasts on the air horn. Please make sure you stay at that air horn station until a first aid attendant gets there, and make sure you continue summoning until a first aid attendant gets there as well. If we need to evacuate, it'll be 1 long continuous blast on the air horn. If we do need to evacuate, our marshalling area will be in front of the apartment building beside the trio site, the Duet apartment building. In terms of general hazards, our biggest hazard on site right now is our crane. So the main thing with that is being aware of the space above you and not walking underneath any overhead loads. Whenever the crane is lifting or landing anything, please give it a little bit of space in case it needs to swing out at all, and avoid standing in any pinch points or kill spots. As well, listen out for the operator, as a lot of the time he'll give guys a heads up if he's about to swing over or if you're about to walk underneath a live load. In terms of falls and fall protection, our rule on site is any work completed above 10 feet must have some kind of fall protection implemented. For around the perimeter of site, we have guardrails installed. If you need to remove any guardrails, you are responsible to monitor that area until it is safe again, and you are responsible to put the guardrails back up. If you need to work above 10 feet and you can't have guardrails there, you do have to be tied off in some kind of fall protection system. So usually that's going to be a harness, lanyard, and rope. We do have a lot of rebar on site at the moment. We are capping dowels pretty much as soon as they become a hazard. However, please be mindful around any exposed rebar. Even if it has a cap on it, it's still going to hurt if you fall onto it. Whenever we have a concrete pour on site, please don't stand underneath the boom of the pump truck, and also be mindful of the hose of the pump as well. Sometimes if there's a blockage in the hose might whip around and anyone standing near it will get hurt. Any excavation that is deeper than 4 feet must be bench, sloped, or shored before entry. Please be cautious of variable weather conditions. Heavy rain and snow as well as cold temperatures can make the site very slippery to walk around on. Please use extra caution as you're conducting your day during these times. In terms of COVID-19, the main thing is social distancing when you can, and staying home if you feel sick. Like I said previously, masks are not mandatory on site because we are in an open air environment. However, I do ask that you keep one on your person in case WorkSafe or an inspector comes by. Our hand wash station is located beside the first aid can. Please use it as much as you can to stop the spread of germs. Every trade and company on site should be conducting weekly Toolbox meetings to highlight some of the hazards that are specific to your company and your line of work. If you need resources for Toolbox meeting minutes, you can come and talk to me, but it is mandatory that every trade does this on a weekly basis. And then just a general note, if you do need to remove any kind of safety measures that I've put in place, so it could be guardrails, caution tape, danger tape, air horn boxes, signage, anything like that, please let me know before you remove it. Every safety measure that I've put there is there for a reason. Then some general notes on site. There's no alcohol or drugs allowed, and we also have a strict no smoking policy on site as well. If you are a smoker, you're welcome to smoke in the lane or on the street. It just cannot be within the construction site zone. Parking is available at the church across the street. Please be very careful when you're crossing the street. We are situated at the top of a hill, so when cars come over the hill, they can't typically see anyone walking down below. It is very important that you don't stop traffic and only cross when it is safe to do so. And lastly, report anything unsafe to me and let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.